When we bought this house about 5 years ago, it was surrounded by lawn that was getting 20 minutes of water every day at each station during a drought. So I shut off the sprinklers and decided to learn enough about gardening and landscaping to fix it. I enrolled in the free WaterSmart Landscape Makeover series, made a plan, and then changed it to consist mostly of California native plants. Okay, since I'm a newbie, I chose a lot of plants that are considered easy to grow. There are California fuchsias, salvia, posa blue, various buckwheats, including California buckwheat. I'm also super fond of moonshine yarrow because it's pretty and it's hard to kill. I'd actually designed this area, as they told me in the class, with smaller plants closer to the path. However, plants like this salvia don't pay attention to the little circles drawn on the design chart. There are actually a few scarlet buglers or firecracker penstemons under there somewhere, as well as this golden yarrow. I added the San Diego sunflowers a couple years ago. The bees really love them, and it's nice because they bloom a lot. I've also been planting a lot of wildflowers. Here's the first wine cup clarkia of the year. Since the Santa Cruz Island buckwheat and the California buckwheats were doing so well, about a year or so ago, I added some of the San Miguel Island buckwheat. My husband is both an avid bird watcher and a ceramic artist, so we've put in a couple fountains for the birds. I've been trying to surround some of our fruit trees with wildflowers to attract pollinators. Definitely my biggest trouble spot is this area next to our property line. It's in the shade of a wall of pepper trees. I've managed to get some yarrow, blue-eyed grass, and Douglas irises to grow there, but the irises have never bloomed. The plants that do best here are the alum root. The biggest problem I have are Argentinian ants. They've killed several plants, including a ceanothus. Speaking of dead plants, this is the zombie garden, where plants die, but then they sometimes come back to life. I had planted a black sage that grew really quickly to be giant within a year and then suddenly died. Turned out the ants had been growing scale or aphids on it or something. I removed it, but the next year there were tons of these black sage babies. I thought most of them would die, but they survived. This zombie plant is the heartleaf penstemon. I planted about 3 of these, and 2 of them died, so I removed them. The third looked pretty dead, but since it had hung on a bit longer, by that time I'd become aware of this native plant summer dormancy thing, so I left it just in case. Well, it came back to life and had babies, and it's now launching a zombie invasion with a sage. My last zombie is a fuchsia flowering gooseberry. It grew a foot or so, then became a crunchy brown thing in the summer. I left it, and now, since we've had a lot of rain, it's become very green and almost 5 feet tall. My favorite California native plant is the ceanothus. My first one was killed by ants. I planted this one and now have been defending it from ants for several years. It's a Ceanothus concha. This garden actually was meant to be a hummingbird garden, so I have some penstemons and fuchsias and hummingbird sage. So I don't remember planting this blue-eyed grass, but it's here. Maybe I threw some seeds out or something. I also don't remember ever planting this scarlet monkey flower, but it's welcome. It fits the hummingbird garden theme. And I definitely didn't plant this metal snapdragon, but it's here. So, since the plant's in the back, hadn't all died, I decided to risk converting the dead lawn in the front of our house. In 2018, the lawn replacement grant program opened up, so I applied. Most of the plants here were planted in the fall of 2018. There are a lot of my standbys, plants that have survived. The Salvia posa blue, Californian Santa Cruz Island buckwheat, yarrow, and scarlet bugler penstemons. I also added some plants that I love but had accidentally killed in the back, including narrowleaf milkweed, lanceleaf dudleya, and margarita bot penstemon. Yeah, I killed a couple margarita bot penstemons. The plant, Las Politas, says it took 2 inches of concrete being dumped on it to kill. I also tried some new plants, Ceanothus griseus horizontalis. This white sage has really done well in this bright sunny spot. This fragrant pitcher sage has done really well on the shady side of the house. This year I also scattered Chinese house seeds all over the place. This is the newest addition. I planted it last fall. It's a desert mallow, which is replacing a thirsty hibiscus. I'm glad that what started out just being pretty and conserving water perhaps is also giving creatures back a little of their habitat. There are lizards, possums, coyotes, and raccoons that we've seen. There are hummingbirds that nest and orioles who visit. We get lots of butterflies and bees and other pollinators. So check out the pollen bags on this bee. Gilia apparently has blue pollen. I didn't know that. I just discovered that the other day when I was doing video footage for this. Well, I hope you enjoyed your visit. If you have any advice or want to share your favorite Argentinian ant killing techniques, be sure to leave a comment. Thanks for visiting.